Now back to Property Source Radio with your hosts, Brenna and Pat, on Sports Radio 950 ESPN.
222-6397 is our number here at Property Source Radio. I'm Brenna Hartman, the Fixie Chick, live in the studio with our guests Cindy Lee and director Jay Burkhart from Beyond the Normal. We've been visiting with them this morning talking about hauntings and spirits, and I actually got a reading. It was so much fun. Alex, you've been enjoying the show, asking questions. Pat, you have as well.
Yep.
And I do believe we have a caller on the line with a question for Jay and Cindy. So go ahead, Pat.
Susie, thanks for calling Property Source Radio. What's your question?
Well, good morning. I had a recurring experience years ago when I was a teenager. Shortly after my father passed, I would be home alone in the house. We grew up in an old house. And I would be in my bedroom, sometimes I would be in bed or getting ready to go to sleep. And although my door was shut, my bedroom door was shut, I would hear knocking on the door.
Oh, I haven't had LSD. Too much LSD? Just kidding.
Probably, but I was so scared, so freaked by it that I never opened the door. But it happened many times.
Okay, Cindy, do you want to handle that with Susie?
I honestly think it was. You said your father just recently passed. I think it was just his way of trying to let you know that he was there. He was watching over you
while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Have you been listening to this show, Susie?
I have.
Okay, so
I have. But I was all alone in the house. And that's what I thought, that maybe my father was trying to contact me. But, as I said, I was so freaked by it that I never did open the door. But it happened many times.
And Susan?
Yep. She's there.
Okay. Another thing I might want to suggest for you is to actually attempt talking to your father if you haven't done so already.
Oh no, I have done so, because this was over 40 years ago.
Okay.
Okay.
So it was him trying to contact me, or letting me know that he was there for me.
Most certainly.
Can I ask, as of now, you have a caller on the line. I know you have the medium ability. Can you actually tell Susie whether or not you know for sure that that's what was happening? Like, do you get that feeling? Do you get that energy from this call?
Yes, definitely. That it.
Oh, okay.
See?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff.
I believe in it. I also have had my tarot cards read many times, and the reader told me absolute truth that he had no way of knowing.
Right.
Absolutely no way.
Yep.
Very peculiar. In New York City, I would go to this same person, and he did not know me from the next person in the room.
Well, Cindy Lee does that same thing. She does the tarot readings.
Yeah, you
could call her Beyond the Normal.
Go right to our website, propertysourceradio.com, click on blog, and you can get to the Beyond the Normal website right from there. And if you want to have a reading with Cindy?
Yeah, it's probably cheaper. It's probably cheaper than going to New York City.
Probably. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thanks
thank you.
Listening.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, I think we need to tell our listeners at this point in time the experience we all had, everyone in this room this morning, in the High Falls studio right here in Rochester on the corner of Commercial Street. We were all together, all as witnesses. It's a known fact that, a known suspicion that this building is haunted.
On the third floor.
On the third floor.
Yeah.
Apparently there was a man by the name of Floyd something or other who worked here, and he used to close up the shop back in the 40s. And on the night he passed away, he apparently had left his jacket and his lunch pail behind, went home, kicked the bucket, and apparently keeps returning back to the southwest corner of the third floor of the Entercom High Falls Studios. Now, in the building, we decided to take our guests today, Cindy and Jay and Matt, and we went with Alex and Brenna and Pat on the elevator up to the third floor.
Now, what you have to tell them, though, is that Brenna and I went upstairs to meet them. But they were taking a tour.
Yeah.
So we took the stairs, but we got on the elevator on the third floor and took it down to the lobby to meet them.
Right.
So we know very well that
that elevator worked. However, the first elevator I took Joe and Cindy on did not go anywhere. The doors opened and it wouldn't move. It stayed on the first floor. So we called you upstairs and said, we're sorry we're late. We're gonna go to the next elevator. And that one didn't go anywhere for us. Or no, you guys were on the third floor. And then I said, bring down that elevator. It's on the third floor. You guys brought it down. Fine. It worked fine. We got back on. It would only go to the fourth floor. It would not let us, right?
Because we're jamming on 3.
We were jamming on 3, and it was not.
Floor, and that was that. We could not get on this elevator to go to the third floor. So, folks, it's a true story. It happened. I think
it's creepy.
Mr. Floyd is not looking forward to visiting with you two today, but we're going to give it another shot after the show, aren't we?
That was creepy.
I think we almost have to.
We have to.
You guys are tempting fate. Why? Well, he might throw a brick at you when we get off the elevator upstairs.
Pat's I don't want. Like, I'm out.
I'm out. Time out. No. Go ahead. Did you want to say something, Jay? You're leaning towards Mike. Okay. Well, I just was amazed and then somebody said at the fourth floor, let's just get off at the fourth floor. I don't want to get off at the fourth floor. I'm scared. Do we have to? Can we just go back downstairs? It was creepy.
He did not want us on the third floor. That's just plain and simple. He was like, no, I do not want any psychic mediums visiting me today.
Yeah. Well, I've never had an experience, but we have in our green building here in the High Falls, I will tell our listeners that when this building was designed for Entercom Marketing Results Group, they really tried to do it LEED efficient. And one of the things I love about this building is all of the lights are motion censored. So when you walk into a room, they will come on when they feel your presence. And every Saturday, I'm the first person in the building, typically. And multiple times I've gone up to the third floor to get the equipment that we use for this show. And the lights have been off, and I've walked in and have they come on with my presence. Multiple times I've walked up there, and they've already been on. And I don't know where the motion's coming from because there's no one else in the building but myself. Yeah,
and nobody, it's not even worth saying, but real quick, I was on the third floor one day by myself getting the headsets for our show, and 6 months ago, and I just got the creepiest feeling that's kind of skin crawling, the hair standing up on the back of my neck. I'm like, I can't. Who's up here? And I just never,
Cuckoo.
Yeah, cuckoo. So that could be the too much vodka in the morning, but whatever.
LSD.
Can I ask do we have time for another story? Do you guys have another haunted house story?
Yeah, let's talk to our guests.
I know. Sorry. Do you guys, Jay, do you want to have one? Give us a whammy one. I love the stories.
I'll do my best.
You get a creepy voice going now.
Well, another one that actually comes to mind was I conducted a paranormal investigation at an old home combination business on Culver Road.
Okay.
And it had a back stairways that actually went down, I believe, to a bakery. So what I had done was periodically we take people with us who want to experience the paranormal. So here I am, here I am sitting on a couch, and I've got 2 people on either side of me flanking me. I'm closing my eyes, and I'm concentrating, and all of a sudden I can see in my mind the apparition come into the room and sit on the couch across from me. Next thing I know, I hear a door slam. I pop out of it, and I look at the woman, and I go, "What happened to your husband?" And she tells me, "You're sitting on the couch. You're telling us about this ghost coming in, and this woman actually came into the room and sat on the couch across from you." And she said it had scared my husband so badly, who is actually a recovering alcoholic, he ran out the door across the road to the local liquor store.
Really?
That's what I would do.
Believe it or not.
Wow.
She drove a ghost to drink.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I mean, just kind of fascinating. The stories are just fascinating.
Yeah.
Very fascinating. Can you please tell our listeners what the best way is to reach you if they have any further questions for you, or maybe they want to get in touch with you, schedule a reading, or have you come to the home and maybe do a little EVP work or any of that fun stuff? Cindy, can you let us know what the best way is to get a hold of you?
Well, we do have several websites, beyondthenormal.com, mysticsolutions.com, and our phone number, which you can reach us at, is area code 585-385-6396.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, for sharing your knowledge, for giving me that beautiful reading.
It was our pleasure.
And I hope to have you back soon. We don't have to do this just around Halloween, right? This stuff happens year-round, even when the world is thick. What is it? That's the between the worlds thin?
Thin lining or something like that, whatever.
A thin veil.
Oh, thanks.
Thin veil. Even when the veil is thick.